September is Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. Around 800,000 people die by suicide each year, or 1 in every 40 seconds, according to the WHO. The majority of these victims are between the ages of 15 years and 29 years. In 2019, WHO African suicide rates were higher than the global average. Over 34,000 suicide cases are believed to be committed annually in Africa, with men often having suicide rates that are at least 3 times higher than those of women. Over 500 individuals committed suicide in Kenya in the first half of 2021, more than the entire year of 2020.
My name is Cynthia. A student in JQuets doing food science and nutrition.
My name is Edidiang Francis Udo, and I am a Nigerian.
Hi, my name is Marianne and I work in marketing.
Yes, my name is Anthony. I'm a civil engineer and a very happy man to be here. Very happy to be here, yes.
My name is Maggie. I come from Don Bosco Upper Hill Parish and I study at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa.
Hi, my name is Nyinge Wahome and I'm a man, graduating student of Daystar University.
Hello, my name is Koni Koske.
I'm Chris, from Don Bosco.
Hi, my name is Nyokabi Muro.
Hi, I'm Albert Mbogo.
Hi, my name is Christine Magoma. This is Africa's platform, so basically welcome to Authentic by Magoma.
What is suicide?
Suicide, in simple terms, is when someone takes their own life.
Suicide is when someone intentionally takes their life.
Why are suicide cases among African youth on the rise?
And it can be for multiple reasons.
One is
mental illness, undiagnosed.
Depression. Another is the peer pressure.
I don't know if I should blame social media for this because I feel like everyone shows their lives, and most of the time they show the good side of their lives.
It's a lot easier to compare yourself to others in the world, and you kind of see yourself as having having it a lot worse off than everyone else.
I would have said that youths have issues generally, but you've added the aspect of African.
I'll speak from a man's perspective. African men, don't talk about their issues. So that's one problem.
I feel in this generation, there are so many things that people feel like they can't talk about, especially young men, young African men.
Yes, maybe it's how they were brought up, the perception of manliness from an African perspective.
There's a lot of hopelessness
in terms of unemployment
and high cost of living.
Youth are very frustrated. There's so much pressures in the world where they're trying to prove to be the better version of themselves, and
high pressure from society to kind of make it or have your life together, compounded with difficult living circumstances.
And that, coupled with the hopelessness that things can't get better, equals people opting to take their lives.
The third one is the act of not feeling involved among or as part of being part of a group or something. That sense of belonging, lacking that sense of belonging.
Most people don't have anyone to speak to as they did before. You see, in the past, the family unit was very, shall I say, cohesive. People used to do things together as a family. So people are having less family time, less time to talk about issues that are affecting them, and just time to connect.
I'm lacking confidence in oneself and ability.
Well, I'm not an expert, but I think it has something to do with self-awareness and finding your purpose. But that comes with self-awareness. So I feel like maybe a lot of people are struggling with that. So it's difficult for them to find a reason to keep going.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure we have, especially when we compare ourselves to our parents. We tend to forget that times are different, but like back then, you get into university, and then after university you have a job. But nowadays it's not the same thing because there are more people going to university, there are more people studying, but there are less jobs. But also about life and
Just so many things not being understood by our parents. Just so many things that people tend to assume that as a youth you should know or you should be able to behave in a certain way so that you succeed in life, which gives a lot of pressure.
And the act of failure, not accepting failure, the act of not being able to accept failure, that is also one of the reasons.
I also think the identity of a man in the African society has been neglected for some time. So young men are finding it difficult to find their identity within the society. African society is becoming way more on the family basis. It is more led by women more. So young men are finding it difficult to find their place within how they're going to lead. That has become a challenge.
They end up being depressed, stressed, and just take away their lives.
In your opinion, how can we prevent or mitigate suicide cases?
I think the first thing is to understand that there's nothing new under the sun.
I think the first thing is to destigmatize, like remove the stigma out of issues in general.
First, just as we are doing now, having to conscientize people concerning that, talking about it, raising awareness that these things, suicide, the act is ongoing. It's something that happens from time to time.
I believe we have dialogue because at the end of the day, whatever we are going through, we need to be able to get someone who we can trust to talk such matters to without being judged. So just an open mind between even the church, even family, and even ourselves as peers as well, because you get someone can come to you with that idea and you'll be like, hata naweza kusaidia na kamba. You see, it's not funny. You may think it's actually funny, but someone is actually going through something.
The first thing in my view is to go back and ensure that you have time with your family. You know, these are the people who you've been seeing throughout your life. They're people who know you best, apart from yourself as well, you know.
Also understanding that everything has a solution. So at the end of the day, the fact that you have this problem doesn't mean that suicide is the only solution. In fact, it is not the solution either way. Everything else has a solution so long as you're alive and there's life and there's breath.
You're not alone. Okay, so anything that you're going through, someone has gotten over it. The question isn't how do I end my life, but it's how did that person do it, you know, and learn from them and grow.
I think we can, as a community, we can have more youth forums.
I like programs such as the Man Enough program. Such programs have borne a lot of fruits, which allowed men to discuss the issues among men and develop coping strategies.
Taking your suffering or teaching people to take their suffering as something they can turn into a purpose rather than something that should make them ruminate and continuously hate themselves for.
Added to that, probably better lifestyle like fitness, mental health, like taking breaks, self-care, things like that. I think they all help with suicide prevention.
I feel like it starts in the family. So if your parents encourage you to find out, like for example, your talents, or even just like know yourself, and they don't force, for example, they don't force you to go to university to a certain course or whatever. If you don't start at the family, there's really no safe space.
The second measure would be to get people help, because of course we have mental health issues.
We should all be aware about mental health. It's not talked about enough, but what I love about Generation is that we are more aware of it.
And these need to be addressed by trained professionals.
The youth need help. They need people to focus on them and give them good guidance.
And knowing that everybody we're created by God, and no one is worthless. I'll put it that way. We all have something to give, and we're unique in our different ways.
You know, counseling and therapy should be made more accessible, and even the counselors, like I know schools have counselors, But I feel like they should get people who are more in touch with our generation.
Even the older generation need to also access information and be interested in understanding them better so that they are able to offer viable solutions. But also, the youth need to be able to speak up on whatever they're facing.
I would rather listen to the issue you're going through and the issue that you have right now rather than come to your funeral and listen to your eulogy, you know.
Do you think that posting a bit more of the real stuff when you're crying and stuff would also help?
Do not wait for me to post videos crying, but I do cry
Yeah.
because it's a way to express my emotions. Guys, thank you for watching this video. The next one will be September is the month for suicide prevention and awareness. So the next couple of videos will be on now mitigation and talking to a professional, hopefully. Yeah, so keep watching, like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.